Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
You are listening to the Brilliance Business Show, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler, and today we have a wonderful guest, Dr. Richard Shuster. Dr. Richard is CEO of Your Success Insights, and our topic today is achieving balance through technology. So let's get started with the show. Dr. Richard, welcome.
Thank you, Mark. It's an honor to be here.
Before I get started, Dr. Richard, I just need to make a legal disclaimer that Dr. Richard is not offering legal advice or legal assistance. So let's get started with the show. Dr. Richard, can you share a little bit about yourself and your business?
Absolutely. So by training, I'm a clinical psychologist with subspecialties in forensic and neuropsychology. Although fates have kind of moved me in a different direction, I'm the host of the Daily Helping podcast, which is pulled down in 150 countries. And we really talk about ways people can improve their lives and be the best versions of themselves. I'm also, as you alluded to, the CEO of Your Success Insights, and we are a technology company that through digital-based assessments using algorithms, we help people find balance and achieve peak performance. And we do this with individuals, corporations, and athletes.
What an amazing CV there, Dr. Richard. And it's really, really interesting things that you're working on and achieving success, achieving balance, etc., etc. I think there's never a better time than now with the current situation of the world. We have just gone into a second lockdown here in the UK.
Yes.
So people really need this support at the moment. Would you agree?
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that has really been prominent in society is this tremendous constant stressor. You know, we're designed as human beings. We are biologically hardwired to have a response to stress, to have a way of, you know, it goes back to the saber-toothed tiger, right? We see it, we run away, you know, neurotransmitters get involved, hormones get involved, and then we get free from this danger. And we go back to normal because the tiger is gone. Well, the COVID tiger is something that we, at least we as living people, as we've never experienced anything like this. You know, and the closest thing we had to this was in 1918, and of course nobody today was around then who remembers that really. So we have a stressor that is ever present, that is unknown in terms of when it's going to get better. Everybody's got, you know, hopes and dreams surrounding a vaccine. And then there's fear about what if it mutates? What if this happens? What if that happens? So we're really in uncharted territory where nobody's able to say to anybody, it's okay, you know, because this is going to be better by February, or this is going to be better by April. We just don't know. And so you've put yourselves unintentionally into a chronic state of stress, which physiologically and psychologically is really, really a bad thing for people, in addition to all of the other things that have come out of that. We don't have the social connectedness that we do, and that's critical. So there's financial concerns. So really, we're at a place in time where being able to obtain balance and wellness in your life has never been more important.
I agree totally. Some great points there, Dr. Richard. And you are so right. We need to keep our balance because there's so much fear at the moment, and fear on the body does cause those stresses, which makes us very out of balance. So it's really great what you are doing in this world, Dr. Richard. Can you share who are your customers, who are your clients, who do you look after?
Sure. So it's different because we're serving different verticals with our different products. But for the most part, on the consumer tool, our customers tend to be working moms and dads who feel like they're stressed with their life. On the corporate side of things, it's companies that want to have a holistic view in terms of the wellness of their employees. And in the athletic space, it's universities and it's, individual parents maybe who are purchasing this for their kids so they can find out how to get their best out of those athletes.
Do you recall a specific ha-ha moment that led to the launch of your business, Dr. Richard?
I do, actually. It was when I suffered a health scare and had a stroke. And the reason why I had a stroke was not because of risk factors. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I've never done drugs, I work out religiously, and I eat right. It was because I was working too many hours a week. And the lie that I told myself as a business owner, and so many entrepreneurs do, is that it's not really work if you love what you do. Well, the fact is that that's false. And certainly if you hate what you do, it adds additional stress. But if you burn the candle at both ends, you will ultimately pay a price. And so as I was lying in the hospital, and fortunately, the stroke missed a major center of my brain by literally a millimeter, less than a fingernail's length from me being here today and me being in a wheelchair and looking like somebody with advanced Parkinson's. It occurred to me that, we need more balance. I need more balance. And so we created this technology platform to help people find those chinks in the armor in terms of where they're overextended and bring balance into their lives. And then from there, we built out these things. So it was really kind of an eye-opener for me, unexpected, and launched a new platform for me from a speaking standpoint as well.
Really interesting, actually, Dr. Richard, especially in the entrepreneurship world. We all work hard. Now, one thing I did bring into my rituals and routines through the lockdown, I now take weekends off to myself. So I take rest time. But before that, I was working 7 days a week, still doing lots of activity. So it's really good to hear that we need to make sure we're getting the balance right, because people would just assume it could be having a stroke, it could be from a healthy lifestyle, drinking or smoking. So I think this is really important for especially entrepreneurs, business owners to hear, because we could be putting ourselves at risk. Would you agree with me there?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like if you think about an automobile, if you get your oil changed, but you never do any other maintenance, right? You don't get your fan belts checked, or you don't rotate your tires, you're going to have problems. So, just saying, I eat right, but your relationship is out of whack, or I exercise 7 days a week, but you have no control over your personal finances. So the weakest link is going to be what can undo you. And so it's important to really have a handle on all these different areas of your lives, especially if you're an entrepreneur, because you're doing so much and you're wearing so many hats. Where are the chinks in the armor? Everybody knows what they're great at, right? So you can have all the strengths in the world, but you don't want to be that guy who jumps out of an airplane with no parachute and, hey, how you doing, buddy? And you're giving a thumbs up. Oh, I'm great. The outcome's going to be terrific. That's not true, right? So we're not saying bury your head in the sand. We're not saying, don't ignore the strengths. Strengths are very important, but you need to know where you can improve. And, what's interesting and cool about my tools, because I come as a psychologist from the world of assessment, and I hate the assessment industry as it was before I came around, because it's very greedy. It only finds things wrong with people. So, but you need to have that balance. You need to be able to say, here's where I'm doing great. Here's where I can improve, but know with the knowledge, and this is the important piece, that everything about you that is out of balance or that you're unhappy with can be improved, can be changed. And that's an important thing to realize. You are not defined by what a piece of paper says, but you have the opportunity to grow and make those areas better.
Yes, great words there, Dr. Richard. I would like to know what really motivates you to jump out of bed every single morning.
My life is an adventure, Mark, and I'm so grateful for it. So what excites me is that I know that with everything that I'm doing, even though my vehicles, so to speak, are quite different amongst my different brands, everything that I do helps people. A really good, cool example of this is, my podcast, and we're 3 years in now, but when I launched this pretty early on, a kid here in the United States reached out to me and sent me an email thanking me and said that I saved his life because he had a loaded gun and was going to put it in his mouth and pull the trigger. And before he composed his suicide tweet, I popped up in his Twitter feed and he heard my story and started binge listening to my show and wanted to make change in his life. So I'm grateful through the tools that I've created, through the platforms that I have, to know that I'm making the world better than it was when I got up the day before, and that's fun. And I don't have anything in my life that I don't like. I like everything that I do. I love all of the people that are in my life, and I'm just incredibly grateful for opportunities to collaborate with new people and bring new products to market. We've got an amazing app that's coming out that is pretty unique, and that gets me excited. I just love to see what the week's going to bring and how I can show up and make an impact for people.
Great reasons to get out of bed every morning, Dr. Richard. And when you're coming from a place of service and, like you say, helping others, that really is rewarding because you are coming from a place of service. So I love what you're about, Dr. Richard. I would like to know what sets your business apart and what unique need are you filling for your customers?
Well, I think the thing that makes my business different in a lot of ways are the pillars upon which I built it. I wanted to be the world's first assessment company that was very inclusive and allowed access to everybody. Our most expensive offering is $50. And that means a lot to me because I know, especially now in this economy with the uncertainty around COVID, that most people can't afford to go see somebody like me and pay them $3,000 to $5,000 to administer an evaluation and interpret it. So we made our things easy to afford, self-scoring, self-interpreting. And from a business standpoint, I wanted to reward people financially who helped me help others. And so that structure in the assessment world in itself is very unique because anyone who's been around the assessment industry knows historically that it's quite greedy. And so I'm grateful to be the generous one in a very greedy industry.
Why is your service especially important in today's modern world?
Well, certainly, as we talked to earlier on, the importance of balance has never been more critical. With the stressors in the world, from a corporate standpoint, for a company owner listening to this, it's important to understand the health of your company. You can know their personality characteristics and you can know their strengths, but if you don't have a handle on the overall wellness and life stresses of your employees, all you see is poor performance. Why is an employee performing poorly? You may not know that they're having strained relationships at home or that there are health concerns or these other things, and then you end up terminating that employee, which costs you more money because now you have to go through a hiring cycle. And if you find the right person and hope you find the right person, now you've got to then train them. And so it's actually saving companies money. That's been one of the really cool things during the pandemic. They realize that talent retention, our customers, that is, understand that talent retention saves money by finding those employees that need some help and being able to identify and rehabilitate, so to speak, those employees rather than firing, hiring, and retraining.
It's really, really great stuff what you're doing, Dr. Richard, and it's really serving so many different people. Can you share a little more detail of the kind of service and products you offer?
Yeah, so what all of our offerings are digital products that can be accessed from anywhere. And so we're really proud. We're on version 2.0 of our consumer and corporate tool, and we're using something called adaptive logic this year, which is really great. We've worked with a company called Prolific out of England, and they help places like Oxford and Stanford and Harvard do their research. So we're really grateful that we've been able to work with them to really have empirically validated tools. And what we do for all of our assessments that people can take, be it on the consumer or the corporate side, is we tap a number of dimensions that are scientifically associated with success. So for the consumer one, it is success in life. And for the corporate one, it is success in the workplace. And what our things are able to do in about 5 minutes is what it takes the average person to complete this, is our algorithms then drive a very custom-made guide for the person who takes it, giving them a specific roadmap on where they are and where they need to go to grow into their best selves. And so we're very, very proud of that. Some of our customers have told us that they've never seen an assessment with such a detailed report. Some of our customers said, I really don't like reading these long things, so I'm grateful you've got, a quick summary at the front of it. But it's been awesome. And what's going to be really cool, I alluded to, is this app that we've got coming out that is actually going to take your results. So these areas that are challenges for people, and it is going to be a digital AI accountability partner. And we understand that in this economy, not everybody can afford an executive coach because that's expensive. But the research around why people make changes is that if they have accountability, they're greatly more likely to achieve that change than if they go it alone. And so this app is going to actually contact you by phone. So Mark, if you had a health goal of you wanted to drink, let's say 8 glasses of water a day, the app's going to call you at the end of the day. And using really cool technology, it's going to say, Mark, did you drink your 8 glasses of water? And, because you're an honest guy, you're going to say, yes, I did. I did drink my 8 glasses of water. And then that's going to log that. And what it does is when you set your goals, you earn points because we've gamified this in a really cool way. And then we have premier partners that are going to allow you to convert your points into actual cash dollars in their store to buy health and wellness products. And we're very grateful for that. We're making this very affordable. It's going to be $8, that's US dollars. So, we wanted something that would be a little bit more than a pretty snazzy cup of coffee, but that could help people make lasting change. And so that's what we've got coming down the pipe. And that's coming soon. We've got some other really, really cool things coming down in 2021. But again, I'm just excited that we've got innovative technology that's easy to use, accessible, quick, and helps people transform their lives.
It's really, really clever stuff what you're working on, Dr. Richard. I know how passionate you are about it, and you must work really, really clever to be getting these tools, and you must be a really, really clever person because it's very technical for my little brain, but it's just such amazing technology that you are working with. Now, we did discuss earlier in the conversation you saving someone's life. So I'm not sure whether you have already answered this question because that was already a great testimonial, but I know that you have lots of success stories. What is one that really stands out to you?
Well, that's certainly one. The neatest kind of example, one of the things that I preach on my own podcast is the science and power of altruism. And my call to action every day is to have my listeners commit an act of kindness, especially for strangers, and post them in their social media feeds using the hashtag #MyDailyHelping, because I know that the science shows us that the people who help others altruistically are much happier and much healthier. And so just kind of a really cool thing that happened was part of a community I am, there was a college student who reached out and just asking for help. He was kind of lost. He was frustrated and confused. And I don't do therapy anymore, and I don't do coaching, but I just reached out to this kid and, scheduled half an hour for him to just share and say whatever he wanted, and gave him some direction. And, he was really, really grateful. And he went out and Googled me and my story and how I, my car accident and where I broke my spine and recovered. And that kind of shifted my life. So he then, as it happened, his good friend ran the TEDx where he goes to school. And actually, out of that act of kindness, I got to do a TEDx on acts of kindness. So very ironic, but really a cool moment. And again, just goes to show that if you put yourself out there, and you do things not expecting anything in return. Like, obviously I had no idea who this kid was friends with, and I wasn't expecting anything, but you get paid back that way. And certainly from a standpoint of monetary success or client success, one of the things I've done with our tools is we've done this as a fundraiser where we actually will share the revenue with the organization. And there have been a number of very prominent nonprofits that we've worked with here in the United States. And they've, shared what we're doing with their list, because so many fundraisers are nonsense. Like, it's tubs of cookie dough or popcorn, or, and we're actually sharing something that's really of value. And we've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for those charitable organizations. So I'm grateful for that. I mean, that's really certainly on mission for me, and really cool and exciting to add another dimension of fundraising to these nonprofits, many of which are struggling right now because of the world economy.
That's just an amazing success story, and it really goes hand in hand with a big, big thing that I'm big on, Dr. Richard, and that is a world of collaboration and cooperation and not competition. Everybody thrives. How do your clients typically hear about you, and are there certain life moments that usually lead to them seeking you out?
So I'll answer the second part first. Really, the people who find themselves overwhelmed and stressed and then are just going out looking for resources, that they find me in that regard and get involved with our assessments. Many people know me from my TED Talk or from my podcast or from the media. Certainly in the United States, they know me from the media. So people are familiar with my brand. I'm grateful for that. I certainly go on a lot of really extraordinary podcasts such as yours. I'm grateful to be on your show and just have an opportunity to share my story, to share the work that I'm doing. And then that creates a synergy from that.
You are doing such incredible things in this world, Dr. Richard. You're really serving, really making a difference. It's an honour to have you on my show. Is there anything we did not cover that you would like to share?
We had kind of a rapid fire journey. I know this is a 30-minute thing. I would like to do something, give something away to your audience, if that's okay.
Of course.
So I mentioned that we've got this app coming out, which I'm really excited about, and this is going to launch at the end of Q4 or early Q1. And what we're going to do is that if anybody buys that consumer assessment we mentioned, Powers, what you'll do is go to seekyourpowers.com. That's seekyourpowers.com. And if you use the code MARK, we'll give you a month of the app free when it launches.
So I would encourage all of the listeners out there to take advantage of this amazing opportunity and use the code MARK, M-A-R-K. I will also make sure that that's really easy for them to get access to in the article part of the broadcast so that everyone can find that easily. Dr. Richard, it's been an honour having you on the Brilliance Business Show today. Thank you.
It's been my pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, Mark.
It's my pleasure. You have been listening to the Brilliance Business Show. Conversations with leading experts in business.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.